So how is everyone? I'm making this little video in the midst of a thunderstorm, which is so cool. So why I'm making this video is I believe for a while that things have been sped up, and what I mean by that is if we need to work on something or we want to manifest as well, these things are coming in quicker. And I wanted to share an example of that, which was just so bizarre. So first off, I was reading a book on forgiveness, and I was given I didn't think there was many people I had to forgive, and there was just things coming to us all the time, like remember when that person in the airport was so rude and stuff like that. So this list was getting quite long. I was quite shocked because I'm not really an angry person and I didn't really think I had anyone to forgive. So that was what I was working on, and then all of a sudden I seen on my Kindle there was a forgiveness book, so I started reading that. Then I went on my TV and there was a forgiveness yoga that came up recommended, and everything was just aligning. So I was like, this is interesting. Then I looked for themes in the forgiveness, and it was times when I felt powerless or ridiculed, or times that made me feel maybe unsafe, or times when I felt belittled. So there was themes running through the ones that I felt the most. So that was what I was getting to work on, and then it kind of overlapped with something else, and it's like I get this knowing, and the knowing was we're going to work on confrontation, which is something that many people struggle with, but it's such a horrible feeling when it's not worked on. And it was just so strange. So the morning that I had this insight, I had rang to speak to Jet2 about a mistake of some documents, and the lady was so condescending, and she was going out her way to make me wrong, but I knew what I'd paid for. Hadn't been given the information, and I knew that I'd done it, and she was telling me I didn't. And in the past I would go inward with that kind of stuff. I would take that in, and I would feel terrible about being like told off or being wronged or whatever, and I would be chewed up and I'd be rerunning it, and I should have said this, and I was just really sensitive to that kind of stuff. But in this moment I kind of chuckled to myself, because I was like, universe, you are working fast here. And I held my own with this lady, and I said, 100% this is how I did it. It was through your app. I paid for it. I just haven't had the confirmation. Like, that's what I'm asking you for. And I said, you need to know this, that this service is offered by Jet2, and I went, and you need to know this because I'll not be the only one ringing that didn't get a confirmation of the added extra. And I said, elderly people will get quite confused with this, and I said, so you really need to, let other staff members know that this is something you provide, instead of telling me that you don't and not listening to what I was saying. But I took a total empowered approach with it, and it felt so much better, and I didn't stew over it, and I didn't go inward on myself with what I should have felt I handled better or anything. I just stood in my power, and yes, it wasn't comfortable having someone coming at you like that, but the difference in the approach and the mindset really, really helped. So that was interesting. Then I got on the airplane, and something said to me, you're going to be working on confrontation again, this knowing. And the lady next to us, it was just the most random thing. We were talking about apple cider vinegar. Like, this is just so random, and all of a sudden she just changed, and this is exactly what she said to me. She said, women like you who are desperate to be skinny will literally do anything. And I said, I don't have apple cider vinegar because I'm desperate to be skinny. I said, it's more about the health benefits. My friend raves on about it. She's a nutritionist. So instead of the usual of going inward, I asked, there's a thunder. I asked her where she getting her information, because she felt really strongly about it. So I was trying to explore it with her, even though I felt her approach was really out of order. And I sat in my power, and it's weird because my heart was racing like a confrontation experience, like giving me a bit of adrenaline. And I sat with it and I just said, so where are you getting this from? And she went, well, personal experience or something along those lines. And I think there was something more to it, but she didn't want to say, and that's okay. But by giving her the opportunity to explore it, I can also help her in her approach. Now again, in the past, I would have took that as confrontation. What a horrible woman, why is she being so awful to us? I would have went inwards and told myself that I should have said this, this and this, and because I didn't, I'm weak or whatever. But this time I just didn't. I took a total different approach, and again I chuckled at the universe for telling me I'm working on confrontation, and then I'm having a random argument on the plane about apple cider vinegar. It's just so random. But yeah, so I think once you put out there or receive what you're going to be working on, it can be really quick. But what I also know now in these situations where I used to feel like such a powerless victim, I know now that they are for my growth, not against it, and that once I have learned the lessons, they will probably not show up anymore as well, which is a blessing, because who wants to go through life, you know, with people just being rude randomly and stuff, which I feel like had been a pattern in quite a bit in my life. There was, when I started making the forgiveness list, there was quite a lot of these instances, and I don't want to carry that with us. That serves me no good. That's like having toxic, it's having poison in your body. And I'm often shown on plant medicines that I still have some of this toxic stuff around my heart. So that's why I wanted to get work. I want to be the lightest light being that I can be while I'm here on Earth School. I want to be, you know, be my best self every day, and by doing the work, that's, you know, that's what that will create. That's why we've got to work on this stuff. So anyways, I'm up to like 7 minutes or something. I just thought it was really important to put that out there. If there is any sensitive souls like how I used to be, I would have loved to have heard a different perspective on it, rather than just going inwards and punishing myself, and ruining and taking my own joy. So yeah, as always, peace, love and light, and yeah, hope everybody's okay, and yeah, take care. Thank you.